How's it going, everyone? I'm Adam Bongiovanni, and today I'm here with our April 2019 Book of the Month author of Adrift, Charlie Sheldon. Charlie, thank you so much for joining me today. I truly appreciate it.
Thanks very much for having me.
No problem at all. So, just diving right into things, do you want to give everyone listening right now a little background on Adrift?
Sure. Adrift is a story about a ship that catches fire in the Gulf of Alaska and what happens to both the crew and the relatives ashore when everything comes unraveled.
Wow. I read your bio, and I've been promoting the book on the social media for OBC for a while now. So I've learned that you're a man of the sea, and that's probably putting it lightly. How did this kind of love affair begin?
Oh, I don't know.
It was just there from the get-go, Charlie?
Yeah, partly, and then yes, it was, but I don't know if I would have ever done it, except that the summer after I finished college, I was working as a bartender on Cape Cod, and I hated it. I hated it. I thought maybe I'll go on one of these fishing boats, try to earn some money that way, and that did it. That did it.
So no bartending in the future for you is what you're telling me.
That's right. So I started fishing commercially.
Okay.
And I really liked it, and I did it in summers, but when I was in graduate school, and then I did it full time for a number of years, and I was actually working in that industry for about 15 years before I started working for ports.
Oh, wow. So you were really familiar, I feel like, with being around water and just kind of that lifestyle. Now, when did you start kind of writing about the ocean, different voyages and things like that? Was that always there, or did that take you working around this kind of category or this lifestyle for so long? Did you just always write, or did that come later on?
Oh, I always wrote. I'm persistent, if not very successful. I always wrote, and I learned pretty quickly that I need to be able to see what I'm writing about, or I can't do it. And so I kind of have to write about what I've actually had experience with. And I ended up having a lot of experience on boats, and then some other things. And so that's what I did. And I had that experience early on when I was in the fishing business, and then after I worked in ports for 28 years, I went back to sea at the age of 65 as a merchant sailor for 4 or 5 years.
Oh, wow.
And then I came ashore, and I've been writing ever since.
So when you say you write about things you've kind of experienced, now, Adrift is a fiction book, right? So how much did you take from your experiences, and how much was it kind of constructed, or is it a little bit of both?
It's a little bit of both. Adrift is the second story in a series, and so I had to make it true to some of the characters in the first book.
For sure.
Very strong. But then I used a lot. I got technical help from people, and when I was writing about the salvage of the ship and how they did it, I actually had to talk to tug captains to figure out how you hook a ship up and that sort of thing.
Oh, wow.
A lot of it was based on my own experience on commercial ships, so we did lifeboat drills and stuff. So it's a mixture of personal experience and imagination, and I want to be able to have it accurate enough so a guy who knows ships doesn't come to me and tell me that's ridiculous. Yeah,
and I feel like you have enough knowledge, though, based on your career and what you've done for your life. I feel like that not many people would question your writings. I think you're pretty good with that, and I've actually was wondering, so Strongheart and Adrift, now how long did it take to write both of them? Was one more challenging to write than the other?
When I wrote Strongheart, I've written a lot of novels for years. And I started, the difference when I started Strongheart was I had this vague idea for a story.
Oh.
I want to deal with some different questions, and I ended up doing about 3 years of research.
Oh, wow.
I did a tremendous amount of research about ancient humans and DNA and glacial epochs and how people moved around, and it was a lot of research. And then I wanted to write a story about the Olympic Peninsula and about the North Pacific coast. And So I started that story this is a long way of saying that when I actually started writing the story, Strongheart, it took me less than 3 months to write the first draft.
Because you laid everything out already in your research.
Well, I don't know what I get the, how do I say this? I don't do outlines or any of that stuff. I just had all this knowledge in my head percolating around, and then when I wrote the story, the characters kind of appeared, and the story went very fast. But then, you know, in my experience, when I write a novel, it takes me about 3 or 4 months to write the first draft, and then about 3 years to finish it, because it takes a lot of adjustment and changes and editing and taking stuff in and moving things around, and that just takes time.
For sure.
But the first rough draft only took me 3 months, and that's actually been the case with any of my novels. I write the first draft pretty quickly, and then take years to try to make it work.
That makes sense, though. I don't think a lot of people realize how extensive the kind of publishing process is, and a lot of people wouldn't even be able to write that first draft. I know for myself, I would not be able to write any draft. I could barely write an essay in college. So already doing that and writing the first draft of a novel is commendable. But then going through that process of, okay, here's an edit, here's a mistake right here, it does take a lot. I'm sure it's a lot of back and forth that a lot of readers don't understand happens. You don't just write up a story, then boom, it's out in the stores or online. It takes a lot. And I'm sure, but you doing it for so long, I'm sure you're more used to than someone who might be just starting to write for the first time now.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a matter of persistence, just kind of doing it.
Yeah.
The second, when I finished Strongheart, which I finished the basic story in the spring of 2013.
Okay.
6 years ago now. I realized I wasn't quite done. So I started writing the story, and that's what became Adrift. It's really the story of a ship. It starts about 4 months after the first book, Strongheart, ends, and it moves the overall story ahead a little bit, but it's really a standalone story too. And then I've kept at it. I've written 2 others since then on the same kind of series. So it kind of becomes addictive, I guess you could say.
Because you create this world, and then you're kind of like the master of this world, and you dictate where things go. So it probably gets to the point where you want to continue the story because you're the only one who can do that. Like, even if someone else tried to duplicate what you're doing or write kind of maybe a continuation, it still wouldn't be from the perspective of the person who laid the foundation. So I think that's so cool to think about when it comes to books, especially fiction. You're creating these characters, you're creating these worlds, and there's these people who are also getting kind of really into the world as well. How does that feel when someone kind of reads your book and says, like, I can't wait to see what happens next? I'm sure that's an indescribable feeling.
Well, it's a nice feeling. I mean, it's nice part of, you have to remember when, at least this is for me anyway, writing a book, most of the hours you spend are in the process of writing and editing and creating the book.
For sure.
But then, of course, you want other people to read it, and that's a whole different form of validation, which is nice. But in terms of the time it takes, most of your time is when you're writing it. But to answer your question, yeah, it's great, of course, when someone gets engaged. I mean, I think for me the primary goal of a writer is you want the reader to fall into the story. You want them to disappear into the story. You want them to not have the story end. You want them to be there, right?
Yes.
And that's it. That's all. If that's what you do, that's as successful as you can possibly be. And so if I have readers telling me, which is nice, I have readers tell me I don't want it to end because I want to know what's going on with the characters. I'm sorry it ended because I want to know more about the characters. That's good. That means that they've been there.
Yeah.
Right?
No, you're exactly right.
You also want to end each story to the degree that they're satisfied enough, even if there's some dangling ends, and there always should be, because life isn't like it doesn't end. There's always something else.
That's a good point.
So that's kind of the way it's going. And then of course for me, as I started with the series and the characters, as I've said many times to people, the characters, I didn't sit down and define the characters. They appeared,
Yeah.
and I had to deal with them. And so so I've enjoyed that. I mean, I've enjoyed that, and I continue to enjoy that. But I want to end the series. I want to end the series too. You know, at some point, that's okay. It's fun, and it's the response to Adrift has been great. At least from people, from readers. You know,
Yeah.
online book club, they seem to really enjoy it, and that's all you ask for. As a writer, that's all you can ask for, that they enjoy it. And if they're still thinking about it after the story ends, that's the most success you can ask for, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that with something, a task as difficult as creating a story, and not only just creating a story, but creating a story that people want to read, I think getting people who not only got through the book, but are engaged enough and want to continue reading the story, what else can you ask for? Because there's millions and millions of books out there that people push out every day that nobody reads and nobody cares about, and nobody's sitting there and engaged with it. So I think that alone is amazing. And then if you go to Amazon, Charlie, 86% of the reviewers are 5-star reviews. Like, that's an absurd number. That's very abnormal. So that's amazing in itself, you know, that many people, and a high majority of the people who read the book gave it 5 out of 5 stars.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't have that many reviews yet. You know, I was looking at, you had 3,000 reviews and they were very high. That would, you know, I think the reality, it's great that they're 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
I think the reality is, what I've learned is, you can't please all readers.
For sure.
I have some magic realism in my stories, and some readers love that. They have no trouble accepting that. But there's a percentage of readers that just can't go there. You know, they just cannot suspend disbelief to accept that this kind of magical thing happened, or this mysterious thing happened. So, 10% of the readers, maybe 20% of the readers just won't go there, right? Yeah. And you don't get them, you can't get all the readers. You know, if you can get 30% of them to really like the story, that's like being a 300 hitter.
True. Hey, that's if you're a 300 hitter every year, you're an all-star every year. So I think you're, and like you, I know, I get what you're saying, that if it had 3,000 reviews, that's one thing. But at the end of the day, a lot of people will read it, and I know me, and I've been trying to get into leaving reviews more on Amazon because I know it helps out the author. But a lot of people they'll read it, and they'll just be like, okay, and they'll forget about it, and they'll rate it in their head, or they'll rate it in their notebooks, but they won't go on Amazon. So I think, of course, and then if you go to Strongheart, you got 231 reviews, and that has 80% are 4 or 5 stars. So that's, people are saying nice things about your writing, Charlie.
Well, they like, it's nice, and they like it, and that's very, very nice for me, and I enjoy it. But I also recognize that there are, like you said before, there are so many books out there, and it's so hard to get noticed.
Yes.
It's just, you could write a classic and never get in the bookstore because the shelf space is so fought for. So
crazy,
really,
right?
It's a really different business than it was years ago, I think, and it's very hard to be noticed, even if you have something really good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to focus. I'm finding with Online Book Club, I'm getting readership all over the world, which is great.
Yeah.
You know, but mostly I try to focus on the Pacific Northwest and locally because, you know, it's expensive to market books, and like I said before, it's so hard to get your book on the bookshelf.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a hard thing. So you just, you know, get successes where you can, and hopefully with time it can maybe go a little bit viral. And the thing about a series is, if one of the books kind of goes viral, then the other books will sell better too. So
for sure. All you need is one.
We'll see.
Yeah. No, I think there's a definite possibility of that happening, and I'm very excited when you continue to come out with books. I know you said the story's not over yet, so and as long as you keep releasing them, you're more than welcome to come on here and talk about it. Charlie, I truly appreciate your time today. Thanks so much for joining me, and all of your links to your Facebook and to the book, of course, on Amazon and Online Book Club will all be in the description of this video and this interview. So check those out. Charlie, once again, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks a lot, Adam, and have a good day.
You too. Thanks so much. Have a great night, Charlie.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. What just a nice, hardworking guy. And I feel like even if you're not an author and you're not a writer, there's so much you can take from what Charlie said. You know, of course, putting out these books to get to a certain amount of readers, right, and to be successful. But he knows that putting out one book might not do that. Putting out 2 books might not do that. He said persistence is key. So whatever you do in life, whether you're an author, whether you're a writer, whether you're a clerk, whether you're an accountant, whether you're a Major League Baseball player, persistence is key. Keep pushing yourself, and eventually you're going to reach where you want to be. And if you don't, you'll feel damn good inside knowing that you gave it all you could. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you're on Facebook, give this a thumbs up. If you're on YouTube, give this a thumbs up. Like our Facebook page. Like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I will see you all very soon, because today's not even Thursday. Usually it's Thursday. But have a good one, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.